Seriously, are we still doing this? Are we still fucking doing this? Really? We're still fucking doing this. Why? What for? What is the end game here with this weird autistic stalking shit? Dude, you realize that these people whose last names you're doxing probably aren't even people that I know or have ever heard of until today. You are possibly contributing to other people being harassed that I don't know because they have a similar last name. Another question I have, like a question I have to put to you, is this. What exactly is the objective to dig almost a decade into the past to bring up old, stupid shit to try to make other people look bad when the people you're trying to defame have learned and grown and genuinely grew to be better people? Like, what is the point? Like, see, this is how you were at one point in time. Yeah, and you're that bad now. What's that say about you? What does it say about you? I mean, the person that's focusing on making the other person lose is the person who's going to end up losing the most. Because they are so busy trying to trip up the other person that they don't realize they're fucking themselves out of the ability to try to succeed or get somewhere. I mean, I don't know, like, did you just decide to say, fuck it, I don't want to have a life, so I'd rather do this shit forever? Doesn't sound like an existence worthy of continuing to me. It doesn't. Like, I genuinely almost feel bad for you if that is your way to get some sort of limp dick rush off being mildly antagonistic. You're not making people afraid of you. You're not coming off as this super edgelord superior troll who's outsmarting everyone and making everyone angry at you. You're not. You're genuinely not. It's more like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you doing this? This is unhealthy. And the fact that you don't seem to realize that it's unhealthy is greatly concerning. This isn't like you're calling someone out for being a piece of shit continuously, no matter how long ago something happened. You're just trying to make other people feel like shit or threaten people with bullshit because you think that by doing that you're gonna get some sort of fucking edge over people in the end. You're not. You're just not. And the reason you're not is because you're looking for old stones to throw at people over shit that's been gone for so long at this point that it's almost fucking beyond irrelevant. It's already irrelevant. But the fact is, you're literally going to a graveyard and digging up every dead horse you can and swinging them at people with hopes of hitting somebody with a dead horse. People may dislike someone's actions from the past, but those that are critically thinking will be able to say, you know what, I don't like what you did, but at least I can appreciate the fact that you apologized for what you did. You tried to move forward, and you genuinely seemed to want to be a better person than that. And you've seemed to take steps to be a better person than that. As opposed to whatever the fuck you're doing, where you're just trying to make other people miserable. You're trying to make other people angry and have them suffer a bunch of bullshit for no other reason other than the fact that you get off on being a pain in the ass. I would hate to deal with you in real life because you sound like a real treat. The only reason I don't think you'd pull this shit in real life is because somebody would hospitalize you. Because let's be honest, this is the kind of shit people only pull when they know for a fact they have distance and anonymity to act as their defense. I'm not saying I'd assault you or hurt you, but I'm saying I would definitely just make you look like a fucking jackass. More so than you already do by yourself. Just by pointing out the fact that you're obsessed over shit that's years old just to make an argument that doesn't even exist, to make a situation that's not even relevant. You don't come off as the person that's outsmarting everyone and beating everyone in a fucking argument. You just don't. You come off like the whiny little turd who wants to make other people miserable, who wants to try to stress other people out because he has no life outside of this. Let's be honest. There's a reason I've been gone for a couple weeks and then came back a little bit ago. It's because I just found other things that I enjoyed doing that were much more fulfilling than dealing with people like your brain dead ass, to the point where it almost feels like any attempt to reason with you is like throwing baloney at a tank. It's a waste of effort that means exactly nothing. But the fact is this: you're not making any friends here. You're not coming out on top. You're not gonna outsmart everyone. You're not gonna be this person that's gonna be sitting on a pile of corpses one day, feeling like, I have won. I have won. They've all been defeated. They've all run away. They've all been chased off the internet. They've all left behind because I kept harassing them. No. People are just gonna gradually move on from the platform when life becomes so much more important than a hobby like this, even. That people are just going to venture on and do other things and move on to greener pastures, as many people in the community have over the years. And at the end of the day, you're still going to be doing this shit. That's not an existence to envy. That's an existence to pity with every fiber of your own being. Because you realize the individual doing this shit is the same person who's going to end up killing themselves one day when they've realized they've blown 10 to 15 years of their life starting petty, pointless arguments for attention because someone who they thought was cool got made fun of and laughed at by a bunch of people because the person in question was a fucking failure at life who decided that they wanted to try to parade champion being a failure at life around as though it was some sort of major achievement. It isn't. It requires no effort and no skill to be annoying, to waste people's time, to harass people, to be an annoying dick to everyone in the room. It's just that most people choose not to do that because they know it's not worth their and everyone else's own time, so they just choose not to do that. I could be an annoying jackass too and make hundreds of accounts tagging you 50 times a day, but I have a job and a relationship and shit that I have to maintain. I have car payments and car insurance and rent to pay. I don't have time to sit around all day spastically typing into my phone about how many times I need to get someone's attention over something petty and stupid. It's pathetic. Well, beyond pathetic, really. It's beyond pathetic. Because at least with pity, you could maybe feel bad for someone. But it's hard to feel bad for someone who knows this is their lot in life because they are more or less acting in a way where this will always be their lot in life because they are actively creating the means to perpetuate this issue indefinitely. You set yourself up for anguish, misery, and failure because you obsess with making other people angry and make them miserable and try to make them fail. You're trying to hurt other people instead of trying to lift yourself up. You're trying to put other people down. And I don't want to hear, but you do the same thing in these videos. The difference is the people I'm, quote, putting down are the same assholes that are swinging at me. If you believe you're punching down, if you believe I am so inferior to you, then you have no right to complain about me making content or making remarks towards anybody, especially if a lot of the people I'm ridiculing are those who sought direct conflict with me. I'm not going to apologize to shitty people for doing shitty things because they decide that their problems are everyone else's issue to put up with. I refuse to be made to feel bad because people like you decide to be a waster who screams at everyone all day long, trying to make their shitty life everyone else's problem. And if you didn't have a shit life, you wouldn't be doing stuff like this. You wouldn't. You wouldn't find the energy. It would not be important enough to you to do shit like that because you just wouldn't find the fucking time. You wouldn't make the time because you'd realize how stupid and meaningless this shit is. You'd say, fuck it, I'm not doing this, and then you wouldn't even bother. But the fact that you literally spend hours of your day logging in and out of every one of your, I don't know how many accounts, like I assume you have close to 50, considering the fact that you have like 10 to 15, maybe 30 accounts that I've blocked, which are basically just different arrangements of the same fucking name or arrangements of the same rail station, where it's basically just you repeatedly tagging people and shit in an attempt to get them to look at some garbage that you said or some garbage that you dug up. because apparently you don't have the balls to actually just straight up say what your actual problems are. Because I personally don't believe you have any real issue with other people personally. I just think that you're mad about other shit, and you're using that as an excuse to take it out on myself, Damien, Steve, Prof, anyone that you've essentially developed a fixation with. I just personally think that you're taking your baggage out on other people instead of trying to say, you know what, I can do better than this. Why am I not doing that now, actually? It just feels like you're looking for attention, you're looking for fights, and you're looking for conflicts because your life sucks. You're trying to make other people miserable because you are. Seriously, you need help. Like, serious fucking help. A person who is completely of sound mind and body doesn't develop this addiction to negative attention. They just don't. They don't. A person who trolls for fun because they just enjoy pulling people's legs doesn't go to the extremity to dig up things from years ago, and I mean years and years and years and years and years ago, in an attempt to be antagonistic and shitty to people who don't really even acknowledge that they exist until they finally just say, look, I'm just gonna say this once. Get fucked. Go away. That's not someone being angry with you. That is someone basically rolling their eyes at the dumb little fucking kid pulling on their sleeve, telling them to knock that shit off because it's not becoming of a functioning adult. What am I kidding? You're not functioning. Look at the way you fucking behave. Like, I'm sorry you can't get over all the little fuck-ups and hang-ups of your own life to the point where you gotta take it out on everyone else. I'm not sorry that you go through it. I'm just sorry that you're basically subjecting everyone to your harassment constantly as a way to get people's attention. Because your life is legitimately a fucking joke. Seriously. I don't feel bad for you for having a shit life. I feel bad for the other people you bother because you have a shit life. Because I realize that everyone's just on the receiving end of your fucking tantrums. Which is what it is. It's basically just you throwing tantrums and everyone else just happens to be in the line of fire while you do it. I mean, you talk a lot of shit for someone who never appears on camera, never uses their own voice, has nothing of actual value to say about anything, because they're too fucking dumb and broken psychologically to actually have a valid argument or a valid rebuttal towards anything anyone said ever. It is not my fault nor the fault of anyone else around you that you choose to do nothing with your life and then make it everyone else's fucking problem. You are the problem because you're making yourself a fucking problem. Nobody has done shit to you except exist in your general vicinity and say mean things to someone who you wanted to suck up to. If this person is so big and tough, they can fight their own battles. And if you don't know how to understand that, if you're not going to take a step back and evaluate your life's decisions, when you've wasted almost a year of your life now screaming at people on the internet for attention, all because they said that your idol was a dumb fucking buffoon who's failed at life, being in their mid-20s, being a failed troll that's not even capable of making a 4-year-old giggle at something stupid they said, then that's a you problem. That's your problem to evaluate. That's your life you have to take responsibility for. It is no one else's job to fix your problems. It is no one else's job to fix your fuck-ups, and it most certainly is not anyone else's job to sit there like the angel and devil on your shoulder to try to talk you out or talk you into a bad idea. It's entirely up to you to actually consider your own actions and consider the consequences. It is. But apparently you just don't consider consequence. You don't consider the fact that you're just wasting hours of your own time being pissed off at people for nothing. I mean, let's be honest. You pull these weird fucking personal cards for literally no reason. It's weird. It's fucking bizarre. Like, beyond bizarre, really. Because someone that has the ability to look at themselves and think, is this really necessary? Is this really the extremity to which I want to push things? A person with the ability to reason is going to say, no, wait, this might be a bit much. Maybe I don't want to do this because this is really weird. That you're moving, like, in so personal a direction with something, whilst at the same time pretending that you're not bothered by something. Let's be honest. If you weren't bothered by what anyone said on a personal level, you wouldn't need to make things personal. but you do. This isn't like people did something to hurt your real life or cause you actual distress. This is more like you need to make other people's lives miserable or cause them distress because your own life is not exactly eventful or fun. Like, all I'm gonna say is, people like you are a dime a dozen. And what I mean by that is that it's usually the same people who are miserable and angry because their own lives are shit, that they try their hardest to take pot shots out of every bad thing that's ever happened to someone, or they go out of their way to try to pull personal cards because they want to get under someone's skin. These are the same people that gravitate towards people that don't have friendships or relationships of their own because they would rather have people that are just psychotic acquaintances who will just do whatever they say or will constantly chase after the same person thereafter because they believe the whole loves company thing is somehow a reasonable way to conduct one's entire life as an adult. It's not. Like, there's nothing funny about being the whiny, annoying edge boy misanthrope who basically just gets off on being annoying for attention. I pity those who actually have to deal with you in real life, although I'm hoping that one of them finally just loses it and sends it to the ER. Maybe a few weeks on a ventilator will teach you that acting like a reasonable adult is a more preferable behavior and course of action than stalking people on the internet for attention.